Understanding the technical side of video production often feels like learning a new language, but I promise it is simpler than it sounds. To make things easy, just imagine that every single second of video footage you record is actually just a stack of high-quality digital photographs playing back to back. If you look closely at that 1 second of footage, you can slice it up frame by frame, where every individual frame is basically a static photo. These frames even obey the same rules as traditional photography, utilizing the exact same settings like aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. If you managed to take a still photo at that precise millisecond using those specific settings, it would look almost identical to your video frame. Once you have snapped those photos in sequence and recorded the accompanying audio, congratulations, you have effectively created a professional video. Let us start by demystifying resolution, which is simply a measure of how many total pixels are packed into your frame. Generally speaking, a higher number of pixels means your final image will look sharper, crisper, and much more detailed to the human eye. To put it in perspective, a tiny 20 by 20 pixel clip will look like a blurry blob, whereas a larger grid looks significantly clearer. We describe resolution as width by height, so talking about 4K video is really just referring to that massive 3840 by 2160 grid. While tech specs like SD, HD, and 1080p are common shorthand, sticking to full HD or 4K is usually the sweet spot for modern content creators. Some cameras boast about 6 or 8K capabilities, but unless you are filming a high-budget feature film, that level of detail is often just overkill. Bigger resolutions create massive files, heavier editing workflows, and can even cause your camera to overheat, so choose your settings wisely. Another critical component that many people overlook is color depth, which dictates how much data the camera stores for the color of every single pixel. Most consumer cameras capture 8-bit color, which provides about 16 million possible colors, but this can lead to loss of detail in gradients. Stepping up to 10 or 12-bit color allows you to store billions of colors, which helps keep bright highlights and deep shadows looking clean and natural. However, for most social media content, 8-bit is perfectly fine, so focus on getting your lighting and composition right before worrying about deep color specs. Next up is frame rate, which circles back to that original idea of stacking photos. It is simply how many photos you capture in 1 second. Shooting at 24 frames per second is the global standard for achieving that cinematic, classic movie feel we all recognize. If you are aiming for sports or ultra-smooth motion, you might shoot at 60 or even 120 frames per second to allow for slow motion playback. Be aware that higher frame rates significantly increase your data usage, meaning some cameras cannot handle 4K at high frame rates due to throughput limits. This brings us to bitrate, which is essentially the amount of data saved per second. Higher bit rates reduce compression artifacts and keep the image quality clean. There is a balancing act here, because while higher bitrate is great, it also creates massive file sizes that can be difficult to manage and upload. One golden rule is to keep your workflow consistent. Shoot, edit, and export in the same frame rate to avoid messy frame blending or stuttering issues. This is where a tool like Bitrate becomes an absolute game changer for creators who are tired of the manual slog of post-production. If you have long-form podcasts or interviews, Bitrate uses AI to automatically find your most viral-worthy clips and handle the heavy lifting of editing. Instead of spending hours scrubbing through footage, the software identifies the best moments and trims them into platform-ready, vertical, or square formats. Beyond just editing, Bitrate helps you manage your content calendar and auto-schedules your posts, letting you focus on the creative side of the work. Think of it not as an AI replacement, but as a workflow multiplier that saves you time and keeps your audience engaged across all your social channels. Remember to shoot with intention, match your export settings, and do not be afraid to lean on tools like Bitrate to handle the repetitive, manual tasks. Ultimately, the best video is the one that gets out into the world, so focus on the story first and let the technology work for you, not against you. I would love to help you build a custom workflow, so drop a comment below about what you shoot and where you post, and I will sketch out a plan.